Well, that's the tracking derivative communication. He probably had that in his pocket one of the first few weeks he started working with Will. He says, oh man, he had a tough childhood and it's not his fault. He won't be able to hear it if I told him this.
Wow.
If he said that on their first meeting or their second meeting when Will was still testing him, hey Will, it's not your fault. It would not penetrate. Will's defenses are going to be solid. He's very smart. He's very adept. He'd be able to deflect it. He'd be able to turn it around, or it just wouldn't penetrate at all. He knew the right time to say it. That, I think, is the old school analytic art that we're actually at risk of losing because they're all old and retiring.
If this is, I mean, it sounds like this magical thing and an incredibly transformational thing. Why are we losing that skill?
It's not needed for a manual. The timing is on week 1, you do this. On week 2, you say this. On week 3, you give them this worksheet. On week 4, you check in with them. It's very rigid. They don't talk about, tracking derivative communication and testing a hypothesis. Maybe he'll say, hey, Will, it's not your fault. And you watch it bounce off and you say, you know what? I still think that that's accurate, but I haven't hit the time right. I'm going to keep that in my pocket. And maybe a few months later, hey, Will, it's not your fault. That's when it penetrates. Part of it is trial and error. There's no shortcut for that. I liken this to comedy. Comedians understand timing. Have you ever seen movies where comedians do like dramatic acting, like drama, like serious jobs?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great at it. They're fantastic. You ever see a dramatic actor try to do comedy? It's not for everybody. Some people just can't do it. But to me, that difference is timing. A comic who understands timing can do any emotion. They can do drama. Dramatic actors can't do comedy. But that is over a lifetime. They have honed that. Who am I thinking? Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is a really great example of that. He had a terrific slew of very serious, somewhat jokey movies. One of them that stands out is The Majestic, because at one point in time in The Majestic, he tells a joke, and it's fine. It's an all right joke. It's a little funny. Can you imagine how talented a A-list comedian is to only tell a joke that sounds like a normal person told it? That's about 3 levels of talent and ability and timing and knowing how to pace themselves. Comedians, they go in and they test their material. They get booed. They get booed off the stage. They do terrible sets, and they go back in and they talk with each other, and they go back into their notes and they craft it and they craft it and they craft it. After about 10 years, suddenly they can just write a show. But that did not happen overnight.